say a welcome. I've had one guest on the show today on this episode. Now I've got another. So we've been invaded, and we've got Lucy who's just walked in. Lucy, hi, welcome to the Free For All Pod. How are you?
Hi, I'm good, thank you.
Good.
Okay.
Yeah, really good, thank you. So for those that don't know, Lucy is Kerry's daughter. She's been at work all day, slaving away, and then gone to the farm and sorted the horse out. She's got a recent addition to the family in Reggie, to the farm. So welcome to Reggie. But it's nice Lucy's walked in on this episode. And for Kerry and I, we're of a different generation. So when we're talking about school days, this makes us feel particularly old, Kerry. Do you reckon?
Oh, big time. What did you play when you were at school?
In primary school.
We also played Bulldog.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, but when it was banned, we had to call it Hot Dog, so no one knew what it was. Seriously.
Hot Dog.
So, yeah. And then that eventually got banned.
Why did it get banned?
Because they tagged along, like,
It was too rough.
playing, yeah, but it was mainly the boys that just went a bit over the top.
Yeah, a bit rough.
we weren't allowed on the fields. Like, I don't know about you, but it was on the gravel. So when we was on the floor, there was scrapes and grazes. But
People getting injured through Bulldog.
yeah, the field was like in the summertime we'd get maybe 2 days, and we'd all just be buzzing when we was allowed on the grass.
And I think
crazy.
this is the difference between the south and the north. In the north you had 2 days because it's always wet and rainy and horrible. In the south we had sunshine. I know it might be a foreign...
It's always a north and south divide with you, Flint.
It is,
Yeah.
and that will always be the way. So what about wet play then? So in primary school you always had wet play where you couldn't go out. The teachers wouldn't allow you. I suppose nowadays it's even worse with health and safety. But wet play, what did you do? Lucy, go on. What, in your time, it'll be so different. It'll be interesting to know. What did you do in wet play?
Do you know what? I know you might think it's one of your games, but we actually played tiddlywinks and stuff. But I know that's like an old game too, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is that what you played too? Tiddlywinks.
I remember in our primary school we had 3 classrooms and they had huge doors that adjoined onto each classroom. So I remember one wet play we made a plasticine. Is it plasticine?
Yeah, plasticine.
Snake, which ran from the bottom all the way to the 3rd classroom. It was
Wow.
the best wet play ever.
And I bet it looked purple because whenever you mix plasticine, all the colours, it just comes out purple or green.
brown.
Yeah.
I used to hate when you get Play-Doh when you was a kid.
Oh,
It would just get everywhere.
But the smell of Play-Doh,
I love it.
it's the best smell ever, right? So we have wet play. What did you, Kerry? What you had? You did a big snake with plasticine. What else? If you didn't do that, what other
Usually
games?
arts and crafts, something like that.
Yeah, we played chess, and then we got a little bit bored, and the boisterous ones would just annoy everybody else, and we get.
Yeah.
Weren't teachers moody during wet play? And as I think about it now, I think it's only because it was their time to have a coffee and a chill out.
Yeah.
But really, they had to look after the brats.
We
And
crashed the party, really.
yeah, that's a good way to put it. Crash the party. Now, Lucy won't know this, but back in the day when we was at primary school, we used to get milk. Do you remember milk bottles?
I do, before Maggie Thatcher stopped them.
Oh, Maggie Thatcher, milk snatcher. We used to get a bottle of milk and a little blue straw, wasn't it? You just put it in,
Yeah.
and a crate would arrive at the classroom, and we used to get milk and
Yeah.
yeah.
You used to get toast as well, did you?
No, I weren't that.
Yeah.
posh.
We had
You used to-
crackers.
Did you?
Crackers and toast. We had our school was called Gaza. We had Gazmart, so they had breadsticks. It was like you could use your own money and stuff at break time. It was good actually.
Like a tuck shop thing.
Yeah, but inside the school it was good.
Wow.
Crackers and stuff like that.
Spoiled.
They were.
Privileged.
But do you remember having the milk when it was cold, like a winter's day? The bottles were freezing, and the last thing you wanted it was always the morning you had milk, wasn't it? It was like last thing you wanted was milk. It's just like, and in the summer it was. I don't actually know why we got milk. Maybe it was good for your teeth or something back in the day, but in the winter it was just too cold, and in the summer it was just too warm. It was horrible. No wonder she took it away.
I would have loved it. I would have loved a little milk.
I suppose you would if you don't quite know what you're missing. What about lost property? So Lucy, lost property was horrible back in the day. Or PE, if you went PE and you forgot your kit, you never wanted to be that person.
We used to call lost property the sweat cupboard.
Yeah.
So it was basically PE kits that people had left behind, and then the teachers would throw it into a bit of a cupboard that had never been washed. So if you forgot your PE kit, you would then have to borrow from the sweat cupboard.
It was horrible.
Nah.
You never. And did you have plimsolls for PE?
We did.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I bet.
the black pumps.
Oh god, I hated them.
With the elastic at the front.
Oh.
And you couldn't tell the left from the
We
right.
had gym knickers. So our school colours were green, like bogey green. And we had these bogey green gym knickers. They were gross.
Yeah, that's pretty gross.
But imagine going to the sweat cupboard for bogey green gym knickers.
No. And was that primary school?
No, that was high school really, but yeah.
Even more
I don't remember
embarrassing.
the lost property in primary.
What about in primary school then? We used to have, do you remember, an overhead projector?
Yeah.
And the teacher had to put a slide on it there to write with the special pen.
Did you have one of those?
No, they're PCs.
No.
Do you know, we still had them tellies that you wheel into.
I know.
Did you?
Yeah. You guys
Telly
are
that
that old, you know.
And they were brilliant because when they opened up, it was like a bat wing, wasn't it, at the side, and then you had the VHS that clunked, and you.
It was going to be a good day if that was wheeled out.
Yeah.
Right, rubbing your hands together.
Yeah. It's like toy day at the end of the end of term. Did you have that?
Oh, everybody took that toy.
Yeah.
Right, a confession. I broke someone's operation. Do you remember the game Operation?
That was one of the best board games ever. I would play that right now.
Operation. I broke someone's and I felt terrible.
So you should.
Yeah, I was never very boisterous or violent. I felt terrible at that time.
On purpose?
Not on purpose, but I was determined to win. And it went.
Competitive streak
I
coming
couldn't
out of
understand why my heavy hand weren't buzzing, and the reason was because I split the wire that went through, and they weren't too happy with me, to be fair. But it was the last day of term, so they couldn't get told off, and the parents never come to the school. So
I couldn't imagine you playing Monopoly then.
Oh, what is so?
It gets so violent in Monopoly.
Me and George, oh my god, when we was younger, my cousin, he used to flip the whole board,
Did
the
he?
houses, everything, yeah. Honestly.
My sister just used to cheat at that. All of a sudden, you see
How
her
can you
like.
cheat at Monopoly?
Well, she'd be the banker, and then
right,
I'm
okay.
so busy looking at what I want to buy and whatever, and all of a sudden she's got these pink notes that are stuffed under the board, and you're like scratching your head, going, "How'd you get them?" But yeah, there's none left. So primary school was brilliant. It was noisy. It was where we just allowed to get away with whatever we wanted, really, and the teachers were pretty soft. Although we thought the head teachers were strict and nasty, that was nothing compared to what I would call secondary school, what you guys call high school, maybe. That's a bit more American than what I'm used to. But all of a sudden, life changed. And
It's a shock to the system.
it was a shock. But before you got there, did you have the stories of what was going to go on at secondary school before you get there?
Yeah.
Peanutting in your tie and all sorts.
I don't know what that means, but the biggest one, really, the
But
biggest
all
one
the
for us
time.
was they'll flush your head down
Yeah,
the toilet.
bog trolley.
I was terrified, absolutely terrified of going.
But it never happened.
No,
It was just
I don't know of anybody who ever had it done to them at all.
Never. I got told, so I've got some uncles that are older than me, obviously, but not that one, and they said, Robbie, put a 2p piece in your knot on your tie, and you won't get your tie pulled up, and it works. So if someone goes to push it, it won't go in front.
So
of
you
you.
went to school with this 2p in your tie every day?
So I tie a tie with a 2p piece in it. Oh, I just really didn't want
For
to
5
do it.
years with this 2p.
Well, it was only for the first year when you realise that what's going to happen. So you go to the secondary school. Some people walk, some people had to get a bus, but it was a different uniform, wasn't it? Everything was very uniform.
Yeah.
I had to have a blazer. Did you have a blazer?
We had a blazer, and our school was very, very strict. So it's a Catholic school. So we had to have bubbles that were in the right colour.
Mm-hmm.
We couldn't wear makeup. We couldn't wear, anything that was earrings, any sort of jewellery. And if you did, you were in detention. And if your skirt was more than a centimetre above the knee, detention. So obviously I spent a lot of time there.
Life changed after secondary school for Kerry.
Maybe not in the first year, but second year that skirt was a little bit shorter.
That's a nice confession, isn't it? Different at my school. I went to an all-boys school, so we didn't have to wear our skirts. But a blazer, and our school, we had different colour ties to distinguish the year you was in. So year 7, and you kept the tie all the way through. So, but it was different. You were treated more as an adult as well. Very early on, you had to know your timetable, you had to know your class. Whereas at primary school, you went to the same class every day at the same time, you finished the same time. Whereas at secondary school, all of a sudden you had this timetable, you had to go English, maths, and they were at different parts of the building. We had 2 buildings at secondary school with 1,300 kids. For the first few weeks, it was quite daunting. And it was hard to work your way around and make sure. Was yours similar? What did you?
Yeah, definitely similar. And in first year, if you asked anybody where such a building was, they would tell you the opposite end of the school for sure. So you would always be late for class because they tripped
But
you
didn't you
up.
just stick with the crowd? Because if everybody's going to be together, my thinking was we'd all be wrong, so it didn't bother me quite so much. Lou, what was it like at your secondary school? Because I can only think, I keep thinking digital age for these guys. You know what I mean? It's only a few years ago you was there.
Well, we actually had a one-way system, and it was so daunting. Like, the whole school would be, one way on the left and the right, whatever. But if you made a wrong turn, you have to go the whole way around again to get to that place. So I was late a lot at the time.
Nothing's changed in your life, Lucy. You were late for everything.
I think that's where it stemmed from, really. But
and it's horrible when you walk in a class and everybody's there.
oh my god.
Yeah, and
I'll be honest, if you were to be late for school, which sometimes was quite often, she would rather have the whole day off than walk into that school classroom.
I did have really bad anxiety, didn't I?
Yeah, you would not like that at all. And even if it was you who made us late, you'd be like, Mom, oh, there were some arguments in the morning, that's
Very
for sure.
high hormones going on there,
But once you're in there, all of a sudden you settle into what's happening. And then, so back in our day, a head bag, the school bag with, it was head was a tennis brand, really, wasn't it? But it was a leather bag, and it had this clip-on end, didn't it? It was like a triangle sort of bit that everybody...
Was it more of a boy's bag though?
It was.
Because we had United Colours of Benetton. Do you remember that for the girls?
But boys had them, the orange
Did
ones,
they?
and but they were more of a drawstring bag, weren't they?
Yeah.
If it rained, everything was wet, wasn't it? But what about your pencil case? Now, everybody had a pencil case back in the day, and it was, for us, Kerry, was more them big ones that put everything in. It was massive. I remember everybody had something in there that they didn't need. So you had fountain pen ink cartridges, even if you didn't have a fountain pen. And
compass is like, when are you ever going to use that? You didn't even
I loved a fountain pen there. I loved writing with a fountain pen.
I had to have a pink fluffy pencil case. It couldn't just be normal. The clear ones, it had to be something really cute and girly.
Well, my pencil case always had writing on it. It was a bit more of a graffiti, my friends would always write who they were fancying at the time, so it would be more like Melissa for, I don't know, Raymond or whatever.
Raymond?
I don't
You
know.
went to school with Raymond?
Just a name I'm making up. True love always. And it was more of a graffiti
With
pencil
Tipex?
case. Yeah, Tipex.
You gotta have Tipex.
Yeah, when they finished with each other, they Tipex it out, next name.
But remember...
Same on the bus as well. The bus was always full of graffiti at the back,
School toilets too.
Yeah.
Doors.
But what about that that weekend before you go to secondary school or your new year, and you went and got your stationery in WH Smith.
Oh, you loved New Stationery Day.
It's brilliant. And how long?
Yeah, you were obsessed with that, yeah.
And you kept it really nice until like week 2 and all this. Your compass, you go to get a biro out of your pencil case, you get pricked by that stupid compass that you used once, and your a protractor. Do you remember a protractor?
Yeah.
Like, who uses a protractor? Yeah. So